Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another exciting instalment. Yes, welcome back to Boat EB. Welcome back aboard on my 57-foot narrowboat. She's a Heron and she was manufactured in Huddersfield in 2001. Come with me as I journey up through the Trenton Mery Canal, having been on the Ashby Canal and Coventry Canal for the last 3 years. Yes, welcome back to the gentle life, a little bit of argy-bargy, where I reflect over the last few videos where I was and where I will eventually end up as 2023 draws to a close and winter inevitably comes on. Will I go to the Erewash Canal? Will I end up on the River Soar and back on the Grand Union? Or will I head up to Great Haywood? I don't know. One thing's for sure, I'm going to have a coffee, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make a decision on where I'm going to be staying this winter. Well, I'm a little bit further up from where I left you last, and I'm going through this last lock and I'm thinking about making a decision. And while I do that, there's a young gentleman coming through the lock who is making a decision all of his own, having to turn around on the Trenton Mery Canal because of a recent stoppage due to bad weather. We start to think where we're going to end up as winter inevitably comes on, as 2023 draws to its inevitable close. And with torrid weather conditions battering the rivers, canals and local lakes, it begs the question, should we continuously cruise and away with it all, or should we hold up somewhere in a safe haven, somewhere on the canal or just off it? And after a delightful conversation with my fellow boater here, I've now reached a decision where I'm going to be staying this winter. An absolute gentleman. I'm going to close the gate for him and see him on his way. And sometimes, as is often the case, a conversation with a stranger, here we go, a fellow boater, can generally help you make a final decision, for which I'm very thankful for. Gotta help a fellow boater out every now and again, because it was a mutually beneficial conversation for the both of us. There you go. And there he goes, gently on his way. When an old boy struggles with his coal and his winter supplies, you help him out. You ump it for him, even when you're doing a night shift. Because that's the kind of guy I am. You've got to help a fellow boater out. And why wouldn't I help someone out, particularly with all the horrible weather we've just had and conditions being appalling underfoot? Why wouldn't I help someone out, particularly when they tell you they're not very good on their feet? It's a river, there's birds in it, there's coots, there's even a couple of swans in it. It's all gone, it's all waterlogged, look. Plus, with local flooding affecting any further chugging, what do? Take a look at your local surroundings and maybe visit a few of them. Like here at Moira Furnace Museum on the Ashby de la Zouch Canal. So one of the things you've got to do when you live on a boat is you need essentials. Sometimes you can't always get coal where you're moored, so you have to come and fetch some. Point in fact, Shobnall Marina. And oh boy, didn't I choose the right place. Just look at this. Look at this. So I'm trying to stylize the fender at the front, the button at the front even more with this rope around the chains. I ordered 6 meters of it. And you can see the rusty chain, and where I just needed a couple more meters and I would have been there, but I'm gonna have to go back to the chandlery at Shobnall and get some more. Looks good though, or will do when it's finished. And I returned, got what I needed, and it's another job in the books. Oh, and where did I finally end up? Well, right here, of course, but I'll talk about that in my next video. Warwickshire, what will I miss? Well, as beautiful as Mansetta is, it's going to be hands down Atherstone. I guess it's said somewhere that you truly don't miss a place until you leave it. Case in fact, Atherstone town, just off the Coventry Canal. And with its some 1,000-year heritage there on Shrove Tuesday, we have the Atherstone ball game that's been going on now for some 800 years. And with all the shops boarded up on the high street, let the games begin. The game goes back to 1199, originally played between Leicestershire and Warwickshire, with Warwickshire the winner. But if you ask me, it's Atherstone's marketplace area that simply takes your breath away. And although we see it here in autumn and it's rather wet, Atherstone is an ancient market town situated on the Roman Watling Street. The picturesque town centres dates from medieval time and is unspoiled by modern development. Until the late 20th century, Atherstone's traditional industries were mining and felt hat making. Today, logistics is the main employer. The visitor will find a wealth of small friendly shops and cafes, including Costa. Markets are held every Tuesday and Friday. But just look at this, Atherstone Church. The ancient St Mary's Chapel in Atherstone dates as early as the 12th century, when the monks of Beck made a donation of 12 acres to a house of friars and hermits, later referred to as Austin Friars. St Mary's Church is a Grade 2 listed building, and on reflection, it wasn't until I took up boating that I truly came to appreciate heritage. And of course, travelling along the canal corridors and working on the railway corridors as part of my job is restoring heritage to its former glory. But hold on, wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. Because a few days ago, I was back on the Trenton Mery Canal. And as previously mentioned in the last video, I talked about any anxiety I might have about being back on the Trenton Mery Canal. Well, that's quickly dispelled. I mean, just look what's going off up there. There's a leisure boater getting into a little bit of an entanglement with a working boat. But to be in the lock, the nuances, the smells that a video just can't capture, puts me into an even deeper reflective mood as I go through lock 17. Back on the Trenton Mery. Not sure whether to be elated or to be, wow. Let's just put it this way, I love the Coventry, I love the Ashby. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Ideal place to retire. But people are people. Never stop smiling. Never surrender. Never bow down. Never bend the knee. Never. Always forward. Been on the T&M all of 20 minutes. And I've got this feeling of homeliness. So we thought we were going to struggle at lock 16 with the gates. Notorious for sticking to want of a better description, but she's managed to get them open quite easily. It's all good. And there isn't any lockies on, so we're doing it all on our own. But having said that, there's people actually helping us. But look at these narrow offerings, and this is what I love about the Trenton Mery in this section. No wide beams. Blue skies. Whoops. Nothing but blue skies. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. Beautiful. Beautiful. So the weather, looking forward, isn't looking too great. It's really nice at the moment, no wind. But that sense of foreboding that it's all about to change. And we've got an interesting development here. Fradley Narrowboats Limited. Fradley Marina, conceived in 2015, sketched out in the mud, in one of the areas on the marina with a very unusual design. Opened in 2021, correct me if I'm wrong, and conceived in 2015. Open for leisure boaters only, apparently, no long-term users, no liverboards. Looks nice though. Here we are, coming up to Alrowas Lock. I've always loved that mural, and as is typical with me, it was a very difficult lock to get through, and I thought I was recording as I wasn't, so unfortunately the experience through that lock has been omitted in this video. And this boat is absolutely beautiful, and I met the couple and spoke to them. It's a brand new boat, it's a new build, and I basically said to them, what are you doing on my boat? And of the few people that actually watch my videos, I don't know why I bother. They've actually said, why don't you feature people in your video? You don't seem to have anybody in there. Well, first of all, I haven't got their permission, and I respect people's privacy, so I generally don't film other people. I mean, I don't really have the audacity to ask, if I'm honest, and I don't assume that I can do that, particularly in this modern world we're living in now, where everybody's got their phones out. It's just a pleasure to be on the canals, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to bring a little bit of my experiences to you guys, for those of you that are interested, that is. So those of you watching this video now will know that this section of the Trenton Mery, this is the River Trent, went into flood in October as we were battered with storms that left our rivers swelling and overflowing. So the locks here were actually closed. So in effect, I would have been stuck here or in Alrowas, as a number of boaters were. I think it was at least a week before they was able to pass on through Lock 11, which I'm coming up to now in this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you feel that I've earned a subscription or a like. If you'd like to share this video, that would be fantastic, or even subscribe, that would be even better, and hit that bell for future notifications as my videos come out here on YouTube. And going back to Alrowas, if you can say it right, put me right in the comments down below, not that I get any. There's absolutely loads to do. There's public houses, there's plenty of takeaways, restaurants, there's even a fish and chip shop. The people are extremely friendly, and having done my due diligence as I'd come down here, I had almost made plans to moor there, but because it's such a popular place to moor, because of the friendliness and the places to go, I wasn't able to get in anywhere, and there was one spot where I just couldn't get my boat in because of the deep draft. But with that being said, I'm going down the A38 side now, back on the A38, unfortunately, back where the noise is. I'm on the opposite side, so that's the Derby bound traffic. Traffic's moving a little bit faster than it did in the previous video. But even down here, there's places to moor, loads of places, and it doesn't seem quite as noisy this side as it does the other. But with that being said, there was a flotilla of boats down here, and I just moored in just a little bit ahead of those and spent a few nights here. And those guys, they had all their, they had a generator on, they were doing their washing. Later on, they got the washing lines up, and a couple came down with their dog and they asked if we'd like to join in for a drink. We didn't reciprocate as much as we'd like to, but we will do next time. So I've just moored up on the offside towpath. I'm gonna have a conversation with somebody about a mooring. I haven't quite made a decision yet, not quite sure whether I'm going to be settling around here, but it certainly is very nice. People are very complimentary of the boat, people saying nice things. Yeah, might stick around here for a bit, who knows. So I'm going to end this video as I started it. I've just had a coffee in the Starbucks behind me, a latte, and it's really sparked me up and helped me along with that decision. And I've just been having a conversation with a very interesting boater who has a very interesting past, and he has helped me to make a decision about what I'm going to be doing this winter. And there he is, just minding his own business, going at his own pace, definitely learnt something from this gentleman today. That it's not about rushing, that it's not about where you were or where you are now, it's where you're gonna be. And if I've not ventured very far from where I was, it certainly seems like it. As I said, I'm going to end this video as I started it, with this boat and the gentleman on board. Yeah, sometimes it does take a stranger. Sometimes it's best to let them lead the conversation. And with that decision, I really don't think that I'm going to be going much further than Lock 10 on the Trenton Mery Canal. Navigating through locks, that's all due diligence, okay? You take your time, you don't rush. There's no rushing on the canals. Anybody that rushes through these risks their own health and safety. And if you see a boater who just happens to be a lone cruiser on the canal solo, help them out, they will appreciate it. Hey, if you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you did this with your favourite narrowboating channel, if you did this with your favourite YouTube channel, I'm sure that they would appreciate it just as much as I do. Take care, see you in the next video.